Yes.
What form of tort reform would you support?
Well, I'll tell you a quick story about why I believe in tort reform. My wife, who actually works at a hospital, woke up in the middle of the night about 6-8 weeks ago with a serious pain in her back. And she's tough. She toughed it out, went to work. And around 11 o'clock that day, some of her colleagues said, "You better go down to the emergency room and get this thing checked out." So she went down. She didn't bring her insurance card because, for whatever reason. After a battery of tests, after the physician saying, "I think you need muscle relaxant," after she and I saying, "It's probably a pulled muscle, you need a muscle relaxant," the doctor then, after a series of 4 hours of tests, the doctor said, "Probably going to use a muscle relaxant to resolve this." We get the bill in the mail. It was over $4,000. Now, we sent it to the insurance carrier. I hope they're going to pay it. But the doctor is in that position because they feel that they need to practice defensive medicine. And that's not right for that physician, nor is it right for the patient. Because the doctor's gut was, let me give her a muscle relaxant, which is a prescription. Tell me what the bill is for coming to visit you as a physician. Let me take the muscle relaxant for 24 hours and see how that works. If it doesn't work, I'll come back. But if it does, you just saved over $4,000. That was just one circumstance, who happened to be an employee of the entity. I mean, they're not. The circumstance of practicing that defensive medicine has a dramatic impact on the cost nationally. So there does need to be some sort of compromise on tort reform, because that physician feels like they are having to practice defensively. So I absolutely support it. I'd like to see both parties work on that.
Likely.
I'll tell you, it was interesting in New Hampshire. I think it was last year, the year before, there was a bipartisan bill to cap liability for liability on rail, because there are those who want to bring rail to the state. And Republicans and Democrats actually worked together in New Hampshire to cap the limits. So if it can be done with Republicans and Democrats here in New Hampshire, I think there's a possibility of doing this on a national level, but you have to have an honest discussion with the opposing party and ask them what is it that they are in opposition to. But I think trying to identify what that problem is, and I think it's defensive medicine, and when you can come up with cases to articulate why that's costing all of us money, maybe the solution can be identified. Yes.
Well, this is just that. When I go to my chiropractor and I pay cash, it's $18 a visit. If I were to put it on the insurance, it would cost $35. The people in his office to fill out the paperwork, and you can get a degree in that now, outnumber the single chiropractor that provides the actual service. Now, when I was a kid and I went to the doctor, there was a doctor and his nurse, and he did his paperwork on Sunday morning next to his waffles. Now the people providing the service are always outnumbered by the paperwork people, and somebody's paying for that. Somehow I don't think that's either the Trial Lawyers Association or Mr. Obama.
Well,
because a lot of this paperwork is, is mandated by law.
Well, but that's part of the burden of government that is restricting. If you have to spend, let's say it's 10 or 20 or 30% of your business on just adhering to guidelines and rules and regulations, it's restrictive to your business, regardless of what your business is. I think it was in Foster's today or yesterday about the plant that wanted $2.5 million, and basically they had to go through all of this. It was stimulus money.
They wanted it extra if they got federal funding, yes.
but they had certain guidelines. They had to follow Davis-Bacon rules, which cost the project more money. I mean, that's prohibitive. It's prohibitive. And those are the things that have to be addressed, not just in healthcare, but in business in general. I mean, if right now in New Hampshire, if you're a plumber, I mean, you've got to get certified now by the state. You've got to I think you've got to pay $600 a year to the state. And I've been talking to plumbers who say nobody's coming to see, even checking my work. It's a revenue generator. That's all it is. I mean, this is happening systematically with every industry, and it has to stop. It absolutely has to stop. But I think we've got to elect the right people who are going to repeal laws rather than keep creating new ones.